With a very close and important upcoming Senate race, I wanted to go over a few of the key states and see which house is most likely to get, which party, sorry, is most likely to get the majority. So first off, we're going to start with the most strong states for each candidate, which each party, and which states are most likely to be got by that party. We're going to go over the strongest ones, that's about 5 points or more, and then after that, we'll get down to the smaller margins and things like that. So first off, it's going to be the West Coast is going to be very blue. All of these states are being carried by their incumbent senators by about 20% or more. California is holding by about 30% right now. Next up, a little bit more into the West, Intermountain West. Nevada, while turning a little bit more red in the presidential side of things, still isn't fully getting that on the smaller level stuff. It's also going to be very likely that it is blue in this coming election. And now a little bit more into the Intermountain West. Utah is obviously going to be very red. It has been for a while. They win their Senate races by about 60 points on average, 30 to 60, somewhere in there. Wyoming is also going to be very red. North Dakota and both Senate seats in Nebraska are going to be very red. Now, coming to Texas, it was a little bit of a scare for a while with Ted Cruz. Not sure if he was going to be able to get reelected, but we've seen a surge lately. He's up by about 10 or more points on the average. Now, Senator Hawley from Missouri is also doing very well, about 10 points on average. Mississippi and Tennessee are both, as well as Indiana and West Virginia, very high up, are very likely. Now, for Florida, it is also very likely. All of these states are very extremely likely in this coming election for the Republicans. Now, moving back to the Democrats, New Mexico, while also the same as Nevada, seeing a slight shift towards the right. In the Senate, it is still very blue. Minnesota, Klobuchar is doing very well. She's up by about 10 points in every aspect, as well as Wisconsin and Ohio. Ohio is normally extremely red. And with J.D. Vance on the ballot, we could see a little bit of a swing, but right now, currently, Ohio is pretty much locked in for the Democrats, as well as Pennsylvania, Virginia, New York, and Maine. And then we'll get into the smaller states here as we go. So, first off, it's going to be Maryland, Rhode Island, Vermont, Connecticut, Delaware, and I wanted to talk about New Jersey. Bob Menendez has actually been convicted, and that is going to hurt Democrats a lot. But the Democrat on the ballot is actually winning, so that's where New Jersey is at. It's likely that it will get a little bit more purple, but for now it is very blue. So that leaves us with four states and four key elections that we need to watch. As you can see, the majority is very tiny right now. Republicans at 50 and Democrats at 46. So first off, we're going to start with Montana. So as we look at the polls, we can see that Montana in the past two elections, Shay has been up by about 5 to 6 points. As you go back a little bit further, you can see that it's even, then she goes back up to 3. While it's going to be close, as well as on a different polling site, it shows that she's been up in every one until we get back into March, but ever since then, she's held it pretty consistently. While it will be close, I do think that Montana will fall on the Republican side of things. Moving on to Arizona, Kari Lake is actually not that popular of a candidate after her gubernatorial run in 2022. We haven't seen really that much of a pickup in things that actually 2020, sorry. Her opponent actually seems to be outperforming her, even though she did get the upside in this last polling. As you can see in this other site, she's actually losing by about 6 points in the most recent one. While I would hate to see Arizona go blue, it is very likely that Kari Lake will not win that Senate race. Moving on to Michigan, as well, there has been times in the, not the primaries, but the actual elections, that it was looking a lot closer, but as on average, I think that it's going to look a little bit more blue. Michigan is very much so a swing state, and I think it will be close. Now, The last state that I want to talk about was Maryland, and for a few reasons. So it's not like it's close at all. This is not looking very good for Hogan, but one thing that's critical, and as we look on this too, he's not doing too well. He looked like he led for a little while, but recently it's not doing too well. A difference is now is that Trump is backing Hogan. He gave him his full endorsement, so that could help swing things a little bit. Not too much. I do think that Maryland is still going to fall on the blue side for the Democrats, but it could be close, and it will be one that everyone's definitely going to be watching. So as you can see, it gets down to 51-49. Lately, the Senate has been so close, it's too hard to call this early. And in the elections, it's usually about one or two that's been decided recently. But as you can see, Republicans, I think, will get the majority. I'm not sure by how much. I think this is a very accurate representation. Let me know if you think any of these states are going to go one way or another.